Irina wants to help, both him and his talent. Danylo, 16 years old, has fled the war in Ukraine.
We call this the Holy Temple. This space helps us live our lives. Here we forget everything else.
Can Danylo forget his war experiences and dance?
Soft, slowly, slowly. Yeah, I see a lot of force. Force is stupid. We don't need force. Force, it's war.
The former ballerina from Kyiv is supporting Ukraine however she's able to. Danylo is her greatest hope.
I'd like to make him into something special.
Passion and relentless practice towards a common goal.
We'll win in all categories.
But will they win at an international dance competition in Italy? With Irina's help, will Danylo make it to the top despite the war? Danylo Motkov now lives in a suburb of Mainz, Germany. A former ballet student at the Kyiv National Opera, he fled Ukraine when Russian bombs began falling on his home.
When the war broke out, my father came into my room at 5 in the morning. He got me out of bed saying, "Wake up, son, the war has begun." At first I thought it was a joke. What war? What's this all about? There were bombs. Then a second strike hit. I was up, and by the third strike, I thought the windows would be blown out of the panes, that everything would be destroyed. After that, something needed to be done. I had to act. I talked to my father about it, and he called Irina, who said, "Yes, he can come stay with me." So I got on a bus, and I came here.
At Irina Starostina's ballet school, everyone is on their feet today. Last night, buses from Ukraine pulled into the school courtyard. Tomorrow, they'll set off for the war zone. Everybody pitches in, including Irina's ballet students. For several weeks now, the school director has been stockpiling material donations in the cellar.
What's in these boxes?
That's feed for children. That's children's things. Here, stuff for women, for men.
Irina Starostina collects supplies to order. People write to her personally, straight from the war zone. Hospitals ask for medical equipment, children's homes for shoes. Often, it's the dancers who are driving out to reach Ukraine's smallest villages. It's a huge undertaking for Irina's helpers. Danylo takes it in his stride.
He says
it's like practice for him, because he also has to lift and carry the girls. It's good training. He came from such a difficult situation himself. He's experienced it all and doesn't talk much about it, but I know he's been deeply affected. And I can say he's young, but he's doing a great job. He works very hard at his ballet. And how he copes with it all as a young man is really amazing.
The bus, now an aid transport vehicle, will be filled with as much as possible.
Break time.
No rest, though, for Danylo and his 14-year-old dance partner, Florentina. They still have afternoon rehearsals for a dance competition in 4 weeks' time. Danylo, an exceptional talent, comes from a dance dynasty.
His father and I danced together at the theatre. His grandmother was a star in Ukraine. His father called and asked, "Can you save us? Because if he can't train, then that's it." He said, "I can only send him to you." This is his own child, then a 15-year-old boy. I didn't think about it for a second and said, yes.
Мир спокойно поднял и рам-пам, па-пам, ja, ям-пам, стоять, па-пам, und dann erst, ne? Das war sehr hektisch, das habt ihr Zeit. Не надо быстро, потому что...
The dream of a great career. At Irina's renowned ballet school, it's what every student is going after. The former star ballerina from Kyiv is one of only very few teaching talented young dancers classical ballet at a world-class level. The Pas de Deux from Swan Lake is a duet usually danced only by adult soloists. The duo trains for 6 hours each day. Puberty has effectively been called off.
We find ourselves in the midst of puberty with a lot to achieve. We have to make the leap from a child's bone structure to adult bone structure. Muscles that were just carrying children's bones must now suddenly support much heavier bones. If we then concerned ourselves with the problems of puberty, we'd never master our profession. Ballet isn't for everyone.
The teacher knows the choreography of almost all the classics by heart, but of course from a female dancer's perspective. Today, Irina is getting support on the male perspective via FaceTime from a Kazakh friend of hers, also a star dancer. He's performed Swan Lake hundreds of times.
Little things. When does he have to stand behind his partner? Where's her point of balance, down to the millimeter? Then the duet goes smoothly.
In 4 weeks' time, he'll be displaying his talent in front of an international jury. For Danylo and Florentina, the Swan Lake and Don Quixote duets represent a great challenge.
We have to build you up bit by bit, so that you're in top shape in time for the competition, in your physicality and your morale. Morale's not a problem with you, thank God, but the physical aspect is what we've got to focus on.
Zeit jetzt. Batman, staccato.
It's a lot of fun to dance pas de deux with him too.
It's as if he's always been here, as if he were born here, alongside all my other children.
Of course I miss my parents. I call them every day. It was very difficult at first. When I first arrived here, I didn't understand anything. It was a new language for me. Everything was new. I met people here. Ukrainians, and we've become friends. Especially Irina. She's Ukrainian herself, and she's always there for her own people. Always. That's how I've been able to adapt. I've been living here for more than a year, and I like being here. Especially because things here are much better than in Ukraine at the moment. There, you can't do anything, not even go to school.
For the aid shipment, Irina ordered 150 pairs of shoes for a Ukrainian children's home, delivered in error to her cousin.
The boxes are pretty heavy. They said they needed shoes. Summer shoes, and for between seasons. I bought general shoes for all of them, but only a few pairs of summer shoes. I don't weigh enough for this.
Along with her appetite, she's lost a bit of weight since the outbreak of the war. She's been restless and always wants to help.
We'll cram that in.
Were those all the blankets?
Yes.
Irina has negotiated a discount from this furniture store. A retirement home near Venezia urgently needs towels.
Do you also have trash bags? Thank you. Because we send it over in trash bags, not boxes.
Asking people for help for Ukraine. It's become a daily task for Irina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope the people like them.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too, thanks.
The clock is ticking. Departure is set for that afternoon. Last year, they were able to send generators twice from here to Ukrainian theaters in Lviv and Odessa, and fire extinguishers for museums. Irina has also brought her mother out of the war zone.
Now, people everywhere want to help Ukraine. We are very grateful for that. But even more, we want for the chaos, the horror, and lawlessness to be over as quickly as possible.
Irina has also taken in the ballet master and a dancer from the Kyiv National Opera.
We just hope that everything will get better.
Where'd the dog come from?
From here. Because we can't be with our families. I think it helps me.
Both are teaching at Irina's school.
We try very hard to find work, and many of us have tried to return to Ukraine, but it's very difficult under the current circumstances. We have to look somehow to the future, and work is work.
The bus drivers are expert packers now. A visit from the chairman of the local German-Ukrainian Association.
Hello.
The trunk's already full?
Yes, this is for the children's home. The lawnmower and the rest...
It's already in?
That's in. That was the hardest bit. We packed all this for the old people's home.
Perfect. That's great.
Lucas Augustin has been organizing aid donations since the outbreak of the war. A year on, a lot of persuading is needed to keep the money flowing in. He knows the bus drivers well and appreciates their work.
We received this donation just a week ago on Saturday, so this is very fresh. Now we can say that a week later we've already sent it off to Ukraine. I've just asked the driver. It will arrive in 2 days' time at the children's home in Vinnytsia, the clinic in Kyiv, or the old people's home. The drivers there will send me photos, so we can prove it hasn't just ended up in some stockpile, but right where it's needed.
We have to be strong and stick together. Even if the tears flow, we mustn't give up.
Word of her commitment has spread, and today, Irina is being welcomed into the Mainz Rotary Club.
Irina, hello.
Hello.
Are you excited?
Very much, of course. It's an honor.
Matthias natürlich auch.
As has already been mentioned, you held a wonderful talk for us here on October 19th. And we have this as a symbol you can wear to display your membership. A pin. May I present it to you?
Thank you.
With my warm congratulations of being accepted into our club.
The generators donated for theaters in Odessa and Lviv had been her greatest wish.
One mustn't get too wrapped up in other details. For a country like Ukraine with a long history, the protection of culture is of course also vitally important.
Lukas Augustin deliberately presents images of the most recent Russian attacks in order to make the needs of the people in the war zone tangible.
You can't imagine what good those generators have done. That every evening people can have a couple of hours of peace. It's hugely significant. Thank you for everything. Theatre, in times like these, can give a little bit of life. Not joy, because in this situation that's a different thing. I think that's very important right now, because it's true. Art saves the world.
For Danylo, the war in his home country can often feel very close. Worry comes as he talks on the phone to his family in Kyiv. At the same time, he has the competition to concentrate on. Until now, he's been lacking a modern piece to present to the jury. So far, he's only ever danced classical ballet. That's why he's meeting Florentina today in another dance studio in Mainz. They're here to rehearse a short piece, a love story. For that, they've both put aside their classical training to get the support they need from a contemporary choreographer, Stéphane Delattre.
Yeah. Flow, sorry, from the beginning. Yeah, don't look on the floor. Like a pillow. This is like come, hug. Yeah, this, hug. Don't move. That's it. It's like you feel her here. You feel this with her. This is what you have to feel. Yeah, and go. Hey. Look at her. Yeah, you have to look at her. From here, look. She touched you. You say, oh my God. You say, is it you? Tack. Now look what I do. Look what I do. Come with me. Follow me. Come here into my world. Soft. And she goes. Hop. And go. Move your neck. Soft. Slowly. Yeah. I see a lot of force. Force is stupid. We don't need force. Force, it's war. I don't want to dance with force. Because then you can go do stupid stuff. You dance because you want to touch the soul of the people. You dance because you want to reach emotion. You want to express who you are. You want to express your story. You want to share love. You dance because you want to share. With Danny, it's his first time working with me, and I think it's definitely his first time working in this style, which is the dance company style, so it's something also special. We use the classical bass, but we also move in a modern way with a lot of twists, a lot of oppositions. And when I work with Danny, I see that there's a little bit of resistance with his body. Like if he will try to keep strong, to be strong at the moment, maybe because of his private life, he keeps strong, but at the end of the day, he has to find a way to free himself into the movement, which I think it can come, but it just needs a bit more time.
When he comes into the ballet hall, can you feel when Danylo isn't doing well, when there's been another attack on Kyiv, for instance?
Yes, I can see it. In his expressions, how he looks.
Do you try and help him?
Yes, all of us at the dance school do that.
But the way I take her here, the way I'm there, stand up by yourself here, and the way here I'm like soft with her. Now the way softly, plié, the way I'm there for her. I'm there for her. I'm not putting her here. Go. Romantique. One more time. You speak with your body. So you have to make sure that when you speak, you are clearly articulated, that people can understand what you say. So when you do something, each finger, each part of your body is aware and is feeling and is delicate. No definition, no intention, no issue. It's marking. Hai capito? You understand? One more time. Yeah, and now. And now, fingers. Voila, feel. Pull, hop. Yes, good. Continue. And continue. Tack. Now, face. What you see? And you have an arm, huh? Yeah. It's like, I want. What you want in life? Ferrari? Yeah. You want a Ferrari? So now you do this, you see the Ferrari. I want it. I need to see in your eyes what you see. If you do this, well, next dancer. You want to win the first prize. So you want to show the technique, the way you move, the way you partner, and who you are, your personality.
It's a lot of fun. It's great working with Delattre, and it's also a lot of fun with Danylo. It's not as stressful. It's just nice to dance.
No stress. All good.
Meanwhile, at the home of the Ukrainian honorary consul, Lukas Augustin is updating Hans-Jürgen Doss on the aid shipment.
I've never seen so many adult people cry in my life, I have to confess. I really feel it in my heart when they see all the misery, the injured. It touches you on a human level. That's one of my main motivations for doing this. It's simply helping out, showing neighborly love.
All aid relief is scrupulously registered in Ukraine. The gratitude for Lukas Augustin and Irina Starostina's commitment to helping is immense. A certificate of thanks from the Lviv National Opera.
She's basically our tie with Ukraine, so we can be sure that donations are arriving where they should. We don't want to get aid to large camps or facilities, but directly to the recipients. That's only possible with friends here in Germany who know their way around, both here and in Ukraine.
And just 2 days after departing from Irina's dance school comes news from the bus drivers. With photos and videos, they document the successful delivery. To a children's home in Vinnytsia, a retirement home, and a clinic. Back at Irina's dance school, it's final changes to the costumes. It's only 3 days until the competition in Italy. Danylo watches videos of his favorite dancer, Mikhail Baryshnikov, over and over.
To be honest, I do have a dream. Maybe a dream many have, to go to America and live there. My favorite dancer, Baryshnikov, went to New York and began working in the New York City Ballet. I've watched him in videos and often imagined what it would be like to suddenly be there myself. But a lot can happen. I don't know.
Placing in the Italian competition would bring him a great deal closer to that dream. For years now, Irina Starostina's protégés have been among the best. The costumes have all come from a renowned Kyiv theater tailor. A tutu for the Black Swan costs 1,200 euros. For Irina, nothing else would do. Student Lina Pengel will also be traveling to the competition. But Irina is still not satisfied with Danylo's costume. Here again, she seeks advice from the Kazakh master via FaceTime. Not the black one. Maybe the blue one?
There's no decoration for the competition. The costume has to stand on its own.
All the costumes were once worn by Irina's husband, another former solo dancer from Kyiv. This one also doesn't fit.
If it's restrictive here, the muscles have no space to move, and then he can't lift her. Our teacher always said, ballet is something special. When you walk down the street, everyone has to see that you're something special. Just walking past, everyone has to admire you. How beautiful. We don't know why, but that's how it is. How you move, how you walk, how you turn your head, how you laugh, how you answer, what kind of voice you have. All of that is part of ballet training. Can you make it tighter at the bottom? It shouldn't hang loosely. It needs to be form-fitting, but looser at the top so that it doesn't pinch when he's lifting.
No, I'm not afraid of going into the competition. Going there and dancing, it'll be a great experience for me. To win. And that's thanks to my teacher, Irina, who, how shall I say it, gives me the guidance to do everything correctly so that I'll win. You could say it that way. And yes, I'm certain of it. I'm fully convinced.
Spoleto, Italy. For 1 week, the ancient town is transformed into a bustling center for dance. Irina has traveled here with Lina, Florentina, and Danylo. All three have already made it through the preliminary round. Young talents from around the globe compete in Spoleto's theater. Ukraine has a number of talented performers in the competition. Russia, on the other hand, hasn't submitted a single entry this year. The jury sees classical and modern pieces in knockout rounds, presented individually and in groups. Irina's 3 pupils are about to have their turns. Every few minutes, talented dancers from all over the world are displaying the results of their years of practice. For the semi-final, Danylo and Florentina will present their modern piece by Stéphane Delattre.
Danylo, are you nervous?
Ты волнуешься?
Нет. Я уверен.
He's feeling secure.
An exchange with another Ukrainian dancer in exile. Once more, they go over what Delattre taught them for the love scene. Above all, letting go, releasing their inner resistance. Will it work? A nervous Irina has taken her seat in the box. It's a high-caliber jury, ballet directors, former soloists, dance critics.
I'm sitting on the porch. Wind blowing through my hair. The ducks are frolicking in the pond. But I just can't seem to care.
A wonderful showing. Irina couldn't be prouder of her students.
I can say that my children are the best in the world. They're true professionals. They've shown twice on stage that they're at the highest level. They were together like one organism. And with our performance, we'll show how we'll win in every aspect.
In alle Bereiche.
For her, it was also a triumph for Ukrainian culture. Nothing now stands in the way of her 3 protégés reaching the final. Since fleeing Ukraine, Florentina has become very important to Danylo. He's spent many hours in the ballet hall with her, and he wants to win with her. The next day, the finals are scheduled for that evening. All Irina sees of picturesque Spoleto is this bar. She quickly organizes a few sandwiches.
And this one. Mit Schinken, prosciutto. Questo è prosciutto cotto e formaggio. Zeit gibt's gar keine Praxis.
There's basically no time, but they have to get something to eat. They need a little extra energy to get them through the evening.
Zusätzliche Kraft nehmen.
Allora, c'ha anche un pezzo integrale lei? Grazie.
Grazie mille. Allora, ecco lei. Grazie.
Now it's quickly into the theater to rehearse for the final. Florentina and Danylo will present the pas de deux from Don Quixote to the jury. The most difficult aspect, the stage isn't flat.
We don't have to do everything, but we have to have tried everything, because this tilted stage is a surprise.
The inclined stage provides a better view from the auditorium, but all the previously rehearsed jumps and turns need to be adjusted. The jury arrives. Backstage, Danylo and Florentina run through Don Quixote in their minds over and over again. First, Lina Pengel dances. And does so flawlessly. A Ukrainian pat on the back. Now it's make or break for Danylo and Florentina. Was that perfect enough to place well?
Сейчас да, сейчас у меня все
Это не важно, что они делают, понимаешь? Когда бы ты сделал.
That was actually good, but you got distracted by the music. I told you that before. Don't listen to it. Pay attention to the choreography. If you had followed your own tempo, everything would have been fantastic.
Сказала, не слушай вообще музыку.
She was satisfied, but there was some criticism. There's always critique. Nothing is ever perfect in ballet. But with critique, you can improve a lot for the next time, even in training, to reach your goals faster.
It's important that I don't present myself here as a child, but as a mature adult dancer.
Танцовщиком, которым,
For the children and young adults, now comes a trial of their patience. Already fully costumed for the gala afterwards, they wait an eternity for the results. It has been an exhausting week at the peak of their performance. For Lina Pengel, the evening is a triumph. The 13-year-old wins the jury's grand prize and goes home with a scholarship for the Ballet Academy in Rome. Danylo also receives the coveted prize for his performance in the duet. But there's no prize for his partner, Florentina. the brutal reality of the battle to be the best in the world. Irina is shocked and has to console Danylo despite his victory.
On the one hand, of course, I'm happy for two of my students, but I just don't understand.
Why did only Danylo receive the award?
And why didn't Florentina get a prize?
She still has work to do. 2 years younger, physicality, work, rest, a little less strength. They're things you pick up precisely from a competition like this.
Irina Starostina may have taken top placing with 2 of her 3 pupils. But above and beyond that, she has saved her protege, Danylo from the horrors of war.